Welcome to Mysteries of Writing, where various topics about writing is taken into deeper perspective. Today's discussion will be about why writers are following trends. Think of trends as something going viral. And a big role with that is social media. And we know various things that can play a factor in, such as people, movies, promotions, whatever it takes for something to go viral. And it begs the question about what makes something so eye catching that it seems hard to look away. And with trends, it's not necessarily like that. Instead, it's something that does not stand out right away, but over time, it is spread through people and other platforms that it eventually becomes a trend, something that is popularized. And how does this exactly tie into writers? With writers, they follow trends based on what is the next big thing, what is going on in the industries, what is being published, and what's popular. And a great example with this is the subgenre romantasy, a combination of romance and fantasy. And this has hit like a storm. And one of the biggest platforms for romantasy is TikTok. TikTok, yes, there's many different things that goes on at TikTok. I'm not a TikToker, but I know things that takes place and all. And books have played a big role in there, having different types of book recommendations and all that jazz. And with romantasy in particular, that is where readers tend to want to read a lot more of in this time period. Romantasy has driven new readers into reading more books, and it has made it impacted them. They want to read more, and within the romantasy genre. One particular example in recent times has been the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. She has written Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Ox Storm, and it has shaped the book industry in major ways. And also the audience as a whole. The Empyrean series is a romantasy that combines a romance with fantasy that involves dragons. And despite its mixed reviews, there's something in particular with each reader that they just love this series so much. It has definitely impacted the YA genre and how we we perceive reading books. Because on TikTok, there are countless of book recommendations that are being posted of what to read next. And particularly with romantasy novels, and the audience that is targeted is young adults. When Fourth Wind came out in 2022, 2023, the book had some mixed reviews, but it stood out enough that it it became its own thing, and people were talking about the book. And whenever the sequel came out, Iron Flame, like there was just constant talk about it. It was like you can't go anywhere without hearing a mention of the Empyrean series. And whenever Oxstorm came out, the first week alone, 2.7 million copies were sold. And that is a major milestone and within the romantasy genre. Someone who paved the way for romantasy to be popular was no other than Sarah J. Maas, who wrote A Court of Thorns and Roses, or Akatar, people say. She has made an impact, a significant impact on the YA romance genre that led the way to other YA romance books, such as the Empyrean series, to be successful and have an impact where more people are wanting to read books. Everyone wants to write the next big thing. That's what trends are. Trends are what's right there right now. What is it that everyone has and it looks like I need to somehow get my hands on it. Or you could be like, man, this is what everyone's been talking about and wanting and just getting. And I'm just watching it go by. And with the book industry, there's these different trends that lasts for various periods of time. And these trends, so from the last 25 years, what I collected was in the 2000s was the rise of YA books, uh, like Harry Potter, Twilight, you name it. Okay, and then from 2000 late 2000s, like 2008 or 9, like into like about 2015, you have the dystopian genre and young adult fiction to emerge. Books like The Hunger Games, Diversion, Maze Runner. Dystopian, like, change our way of thinking about the world that we live in. Or let's just say the alternative, if these events had happened to us, whether it was present, past, or even in future tense. And there were plenty of dystopian books that had adaptation, starting with The Hunger Games, and that was a major success. And its predecessors, although the book series had about the same hype or similar hype for it, the movie adaptations not so much. Anyways, into the 2020s, we got another surge in YA books, but specifically in the sci-fi and fantasy genres, that we are still building magic systems. Yes, this is where the magic systems and worlds that are coming from softer, like more harder systems and rules and all that stuff. And in the 2020s, like more scientific uh philosophies are being put into these books, and still immersive and grabbing a nut that we can actually enjoy it and want to be in that world. And now we're getting to about 2023 into now, where romanticy has been everywhere. And it's a trend that is not going to go away anytime soon. A lot of my friends, how they got into reading was reading romance books. And that is something that they enjoy reading. And the audience is specifically targeting teenagers and young adults. And with romanticy, it has been such a big thing. And with current trends, writers who write within that category, they expect to become a big moneymaker with instant results. Well, I'm here to tell you the unfortunate truth. Not every book in that trend is going to be a hit. And that's just life in general. Because not all books succeed, not all books hit that over, let's just say, 5,000. I don't know. It just ranges. Like, even if you write it at trend, it does not guarantee you instant success. It gives you something that some people are going to read your book, but not everyone's going to be like, "Well, this is the instant classic." What readers are looking for, and especially if you want to draw new people in, they want something understandable. They want an understandable concept without being too generic or overdone. And it's something that you have to get right if you want your book to not only be successful, but impactful as well. And with trends, they show up and eventually leave, for something fresh. And I know romantasy is the current trend, and it's not going to leave anytime soon. Let me just say that right now, because it's the big thing. That's what everyone wants to write about, because that is the moneymaker that keeping the book industry spinning, and try to match that. We're not going to know that next trend because we're yet to witness that new trend. And it's so funny because last Saturday, March 8th, I actually went to a UAL academics and I did ready writing. And it was a lot similar to what I'm talking about today. And let's see. Let me get the topic to you right now. So, it says, in our modern age, cell phone technology permits us to record the constant brutality that occurs all around us. We experience not an uptick in violence, but a new kind of witnessing. An excerpt from the Nickel Boys. And how I was able to relate to it is about the world blowing up, as if something was going viral. And everyone's going to take their piece of something to talk about what has been viral and what's the current trend. And I really want to touch upon TikTok for a second, because TikTok is a lot of people's favorite platform, and where many things go viral for various reasons. And I want to go back to the book recommendations, because that has been something that has drawn new readers. And that's a trend that has been happening on TikTok for some time now. And also BookTube as well, and the impact that has that it has made as well, in drawing in new readers and for them to also listen into. So for my essay right here, it says, or I said, TikTok played a big role in not only hyping up for its release. I'm talking about Oxstorm in particular, but also promoting the subgenre of romantasy with it. You don't really have to be this big influencer to hype something up. You can be someone like an ordinary person who is long awaiting this new book. Let's just say there was a fourth book in the Pyrian series by Rebecca Yarros, like people would be hyping that up, and depending on how it is structured in a way, it could like become viral. And I don't know, maybe like a new trend can like stir up or something. I don't know. You know, with trends, it's gonna be unexpected, and it could be crazy in a good way, depending of how you perceive it. I'll say this. This is actually the essay that got me into sixth place, and yes, I did get a medal for it. Not to brag, but something to mention. Oh, let me read this really quick. So, it starts through the small things that occur inconveniently, gets onto everyone's cell phone to have the world blow up. And, like, seriously, that is what trends do. Like, there's gonna be something that's all of a sudden, like, pops up, or maybe through time, it's spread through different people, and it's on everyone's phones that no one can stop talking about it. It just blows up. And I believe with writers following these trends, they use these ingredients, these tropes, these different genres, different types of storytelling, make that something of their own, and hoping for it to blow up. But it begs the question, do the writers have to follow trends? Well, not necessarily. But I'll say it does depend on the writer. So if you enjoy writing based on what is popular right now, hey, go ahead, because I'm not going to stop you. But if you want to make a name for yourself, if you want to stand out from all those other authors, write something that you love doing. Don't feel forced because of this trend, because that's what's going on right now. Like I said earlier, trends show up and leave. And you don't want to finally publish this book and be like, this ain't popular anymore. Let's go to the next trend. Like, you're never going to get anywhere if you're just going to follow a trend. And especially if you want to make this a part of your day-to-day life. Write something that you want to write about. And maybe it could be about your boring job, or maybe something around the house, or something that you wish you would do but you never do. And it is so important to listen to yourself as a writer and not allow the external thing to just go through you and just like almost like take over, like mind manipulation. Don't think that you have to write this sort of thing in order to be a writer in the long run. But instead, write what you know, what you love. Make a fan base. Like, even if it starts small, grow that, and over time, you will have fans so loyal to you that not only they'll read whatever you write, but they'll also listen to you. They'll even spread the word for you. And all you gotta do is just watch the world blow up. And maybe you could be the next big thing. Don't worry, I'm dreaming of that too. This one right here is very important that I wrote. And that is, don't allow the trend interfere your love for writing. What to take away from this episode? Number 1, trends do change over time. Trends are something that goes viral. It doesn't last forever, but it's in the moment, it's in the spotlight, and everyone is talking about it. And don't just suck yourself into the crowd just to be a part of it. Because maybe by the time you finish that book and try to get it published, it might not be the big thing anymore. Number 2, knowing the main target of your audience. It is so crucial to know who you're writing to. And that is going to determine whether someone is going to pick up the book. Whenever you read it, you want to enjoy it. You want things that would make you want to just be in that world, or want to know more about what topics or discussions are being said. And it's just so crucial knowing your audience. You want to have themes about mental health, and you write it in a middle grade level. Have that match up to where that audience level is. And number 3, as a writer, do not limit yourself to a trend. Like I said before, a trend shows up and leaves. And there's going to be something else that's going to take over. And as a writer, you want to write what you love, or what you know, or what you want people to be aware about, and what you want them to take away from your book. Don't allow a viral trend to be like, oh, this is the only thing I can write. Because it's not necessarily going to be there forever. Because there are many different things that you can write about, many different topics that you can tackle and actually discuss or weave into the story and make it engaging. Because as the writer, it is your story that you're trying to tell, and you are trying to tell the reader this specific thing. You're trying to tell them this universal truth that revolves around your story.